Hey everyone, and welcome back to No Passport Required, where we explore the world from the comfort of your favorite chair. The classic American road trip. It's a rite of passage, right? Cruising down endless highways, past those amber waves of grain, on your way to see the icons. We all know the big ones, the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, the Statue of Liberty. And don't get me wrong, they're incredible. But they don't even begin to tell the whole story. What if I told you that just off the beaten path you could find a house shaped like a boot, cars buried face down in the desert, and even a 65-foot-tall elephant? Have you ever been driving down some forgotten highway and seen something so bizarre, so out of place you had to slam on the brakes and do a double take? Well, forget the usual tourist traps. Today we're diving into the weird, wonderful underbelly of American tourism. We're counting down the 10 most bizarre roadside attractions you have to see to believe. But here's the twist. One of these quirky spots isn't just a strange sight. It has a history so packed with drama, failure, and redemption that it sounds like it was ripped straight from a Hollywood script. So stick around, because one of these places has a secret that's going to blow your mind. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a place where every single item has a story, even if no one knows what it is. Welcome to the Unclaimed Baggage Center in Scottsboro, Alabama. Ever wonder what happens to the luggage that airlines lose for good? After a 3-month search, if a bag is well and truly orphaned, it could end up here. This place is a massive retail store that buys lost luggage from airlines, contents completely unseen, and then sells whatever treasures and junk they find inside. It's a treasure hunter's dream, where you might find anything from designer clothes and laptops to, believe it or not, some seriously weird finds. We're talking suits of armor, and there are even rumors of ancient artifacts turning up. It's the only place in the country where you can legally buy other people's lost stuff, making it a bizarre and irresistible shopping spree that pulls in over 1 million visitors a year. If you're driving down I-95 in Providence, Rhode Island, you literally can't miss our number 9 pick. Looming over the highway is a 58-foot-long, 4,000-pound termite named Nibbles Woodaway, or as the locals call him, the Big Blue Bug. This giant insect has been the mascot for Big Blue Bug Solutions, a local pest control company, since it was built back in 1980. Nibbles is so loved that he's become an unofficial city landmark. The locals even dress him up for the holidays. He gets a red nose and antlers for Christmas and an Uncle Sam hat for the 4th of July. He's a beloved, if slightly terrifying, fixture of the Providence skyline and a perfect monument to the kind of quirky advertising that makes roadside America great. Out in Leggett, California, stands a tribute to both Mother Nature's power and our very human impulse to do weird things to it. Number 8 is the Chandelier Drive-Through Tree, a colossal 276-foot coastal redwood that's estimated to be well over 1,000 years old. Back in the 1930s, someone decided to carve a nearly 7-foot-high tunnel through its base so that cars could literally drive right through this ancient giant. Why chandelier? The name comes from the massive branches that fork out about 100 feet up, looking just like a crystal chandelier. While there used to be a few of these drive-through trees, the chandelier tree is one of the last and most famous ones standing, offering a surreal photo op that perfectly blends natural wonder with pure roadside novelty. Our number 7 spot isn't just one attraction, it's a whole sprawling, neon-drenched kingdom of kitsch. Located just south of the North Carolina-South Carolina line, south of the border is impossible to miss. It all started as a humble beer stand back in 1950, cleverly placed to sell booze to folks from the neighboring dry counties. But it didn't stay humble for long. Today the complex covers 350 acres and has restaurants, wild gift shops, an amusement park, a motel, and the largest indoor reptile exhibit in the U.S. The whole place is watched over by its mascot, Pedro, who you'll see on hundreds of billboards counting down the miles until you arrive. It's a wonderfully tacky, dizzying monument to American road culture at its most chaotic. Some roadside attractions are born from a grand artistic vision, and then there are others, like our number 6 pick, that come from somewhere much simpler and way more obsessive. In Darwin, Minnesota, you'll find the world's largest ball of twine rolled by a single man. This behemoth was the life's work of one Francis A. Johnson, who started rolling it in his basement in 1950. For the next 29 years, he spent 4 hours a day, every day, wrapping twine. It got so big he had to move it out to his front lawn. By the time he finally stopped in 1979, the ball was 12 feet across and weighed over 17,000 pounds. Today, it sits in its own little gazebo, a bizarre and, dare I say, inspiring monument to the power of just sticking with a really weird hobby. Get ready for a trip. in every sense of the word. At number 5, we're heading to a former bowling alley in Santa Fe, New Mexico to visit Meow Wolf's House of Eternal Return. It's less of an attraction and more of a psychedelic journey. You start out by walking into what looks like a totally normal Victorian house, but that's where normal ends. Open the refrigerator door, and you're stepping into a glowing interdimensional portal. Slide through the fireplace and you'll find yourself in a magical, neon forest. The whole 20,000 square foot exhibit is an explosion of interactive art and secret passages, all telling the strange, non-linear story of the Selig family, who vanished after an experiment went wrong and tore a hole in space and time. It was partially funded by Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin, and it has completely redefined what a roadside attraction can be. We're about to crack into our top 4, which means we're getting closer to solving the mystery of which attraction has that Hollywood-worthy backstory. These next few spots are true American originals. If you're enjoying this weird and wonderful journey, do us a solid and hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to No Passport Required so you never miss an adventure. Alright, back to the countdown. At number 4, we've got a piece of architecture that looks like it was plucked straight out of a nursery rhyme. In Helena, Pennsylvania stands the Haynes Shoe House, a 5-story house built in the unmistakable shape of a work boot. This wonderful piece of weirdness was built in 1948 by a flamboyant guy known as the Shoe Wizard, Malin Haynes. It was basically a giant advertisement for his shoe store empire. The story goes that he handed one of his work boots to an architect and just said, "Build me a house like this." The 25-foot-tall boot has a living room in the toe, a kitchen in the heel, and 2 bedrooms up in the ankle. Haynes never actually lived in it. Instead, he used it as a guest house, famously offering free weekend stays to honeymooning couples. It's a masterpiece of marketing and a truly whimsical roadside stop. Our number 3 spot is a true icon of Route 66 and a holy site for anyone who loves quirky art. In the middle of a cow pasture outside Amarillo, Texas, you'll find 10 classic Cadillacs buried nose first in the dirt, their tail fins aimed at the sky. This is Cadillac Ranch. It was created in 1974 by an art group called Ant Farm, with funding from an eccentric millionaire named Stanley Marsh III, as a tribute to the golden age of the American car. But what makes Cadillac Ranch a living, breathing work of art is that visitors are encouraged to leave their mark. You can bring a can of spray paint and add your own graffiti to the cars. This means the whole installation is constantly changing, a vibrant, chaotic, and collaborative masterpiece that perfectly captures the rebellious spirit of the open road. And here we are, at number 2. It's time to solve our little mystery. Remember that one-of-a-kind attraction with a secret story so wild it could be a movie? Well, it's none other than Lucy the Elephant in Margate City, New Jersey. Built way back in 1881, Lucy is a 6-story, 65-foot-tall building shaped like an elephant, making her America's oldest surviving roadside attraction. But she didn't start out as a tourist trap, she was a real estate gimmick. A developer named James V. Lafferty built this giant elephant to lure potential buyers to what was then a desolate stretch of land. He'd walk clients up the winding stairs in her legs to the platform on her back, showing them a panoramic view of the land he was trying to sell. But Lafferty's vision was bigger than his bank account, and he soon had to sell poor Lucy. Over the next century, her story took some dramatic turns. She served as a summer home, a tavern, and even a hotel. But the years, and the salty ocean air, were not kind. By the 1960s, she was a derelict wreck, condemned to be demolished for a new condo. But then, a group of passionate locals formed the Save Lucy Committee. They heroically raised the money to move the entire 90-ton structure and began a painstaking restoration. She survived neglect, hurricanes, and a wrecking ball to become a National Historic Landmark, an incredible testament to American creativity and pure stubborn resilience. And now for our number 1 most bizarre road trip stop in the entire United States. We're heading back to New Mexico to a place where one single event in 1947 launched 1,000 conspiracy theories and an entire industry of strangeness. We are going to Roswell, home of the International UFO Museum and Research Center. Here's the story. In July 1947, a local rancher found a field of mysterious debris. The local Army airfield put out a press release that shocked the world. They had recovered a flying disc. The very next day, the military took it all back, claiming it was just a plain old weather balloon. But it was too late. The story took on a life of its own, spawning decades of increasingly wild theories about a crashed alien ship, extraterrestrial bodies, and a massive government cover-up. The museum in Roswell is the absolute epicenter of this modern American myth. It's packed with exhibits, documents, and witness testimonies, all trying to answer the question, what really happened in Roswell? It's a fascinating collision of history, speculation, and pop culture, making it the most bizarre, and you could argue the most uniquely American roadside stop of them all. From a lost and found superstore to the alleged crash site of an alien spacecraft, the American highway is littered with monuments to the weird, the wonderful, and the obsessive. We've seen giant bugs, drive-through trees, and a 140-year-old elephant that simply refused to be forgotten. These places aren't just quirky photo ops, they're the heart of a different kind of American story. One written by eccentrics, dreamers, and everyday people who just decided to build something strange. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride. If you had fun, please leave a like and tell us in the comments, what's the weirdest roadside attraction you've ever stumbled upon? We'd love to hear your stories. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more adventures from No Passport Required. We'll see you on the next one.